Welcome back, barbarians. It's been a while and I really want to get this thing done. So the most glaring missing piece in Time Barbarian at this point is sound. Let's set about getting some sound set up in this game. I have already taken the liberty of importing the sounds from the old game here into the project. And they are just imported as Decompress on load files. Now, Decompress on load, it's a little bit of a sketchy option, meaning those are compressed audio on disk, but then when you load them in, it decompresses them at load time. Now, that I have found that can take quite a while. The decompress on load causes a lot of load time, but I don't have that much audio here, and we're going to be recycling things over and over. As you've seen, we have these permanent pools of things. So load time should be a one-time deal. I'm going to go with that for now. If it turns out to be a problem, load time is longer than I want it to be, we'll come back and we'll change that to compressed in memory. The exception here is we do have some music pieces. I'm not going to get to those today, but I will show that we don't want long audio. So this is like a 30-second piece here. There's a 2-minute piece, 30 seconds there, another 1-minute piece. We don't want those to be decompressed on load. That's just going to take too much load time. We'll use streaming for those. So now let's play some sounds. The very most basic thing you can do in Unity to play a sound is just drag it and drop it into your scene there. You'll see that that creates an audio source and fills your clip in, and it sets it to play on awake. And so that audio will play when you hit go. Let's listen to it. There it was. That was the laser firing sound. And that's a decent start, but we want more than that. We want to be able to fire it on command. We want to be able to do some other things. I want to add some controls so that very easily, audio designer, it's going to be myself, but an audio designer can tune the sounds, and I want to create variation on those things. Yeah, let's create a scriptable object for a sound. This is a sound that we can play, right? Let's just create a scriptable object for that. I'll just call it sound. And that's not going to be a MonoBehavior. That's going to be a scriptable object. We're going to need an audio clip. And I want to put some variation on this so that it doesn't necessarily play the sound, same thing over and over. When you hear the same sound, pew, 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 which we're going to hear over and over, it's really redundant. And so a cheap, easy way to break that up is just put a little random pitch variation. So pew, 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 right? A little random pitch variation. You cannot go past 1.0 volume with just playing a standard sound. In order to go past 1.0, you need an audio group, a mixer, and we'll get to that later. I'll tell you what, I'm going to create a folder here called source. And I'm going to move all the source. I'm going to move all the source in, and the music is going to go in there. And that way I can create the scriptable objects right here. So let's create a scriptable object sound. All right, and this one's going to be, what did we call the player's laser fire? And we'll put the power laser on there. Okay, so that is going to be the sound I want to fire. I want to play when the laser fires. I'll need a way to do that. I'm going to need a little game object. So let's create ourselves a MonoBehavior for that. What's it going to be called? SoundInstance? SoundInstance? Sure, why not? a sound instance. It will need a public sound on it, and it will need an audio source. This is going to be a pooled object because we're going to have lots of these sound instances. Boom, 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 boom. When you create one of these instances, we're going to pull it out of a pool. When you pull it out of a pool, we won't yet know. In the pool, it won't have its sound associated yet. In the override init function, I'm going to say if null equals mSource. We need to create the source. Okay, and so mSource equals GameObject.add component, and it's an audio source. And then mSource.play on awake is going to be false, and that should be good. We don't need an update function. Okay, so that'll initialize us to just have a source. I'm going to need a public void play. Why did it play? And it's going to take a sound. What I want to do is move the responsibility, put the responsibility for filling in the sound info on the scriptable object itself. So let's do that. Let's say we'll have a public void play, and it's going to take an audio source. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm not even going to have a sound. I'm just going to make a source, and I'm going to say sound.play my source. Source.clip equals my clip. Source.pitch equals random.range. Min pitch max pitch. Let's do the same thing with volume. Min vol, max vol. Okay, and then we do source.play. Okay, cool. Okay, so how do you play a sound? I'm going to say, give me a public static function. Maybe return the instance. Say play sound. And we will take as an argument a sound to play. And what we need to do then is we need to create an object pool for this. And so we're going to have, I'm just going to have a static object pool s sound pool. Okay, so I'm going to need a function to access that and make it. So we're going to start off with a null pool, right? So we need this stuff. So I need game object get pool, and that's a static. If null equals s sound pool, we need to create the pool and then return s sound pool, and it's an object pool. Okay, so let's just copy this. Okay, we're going to create our sound pool. That is our component. doesn't have a prefab. Can I not have a prefab? How many snum sounds? I don't know how many that is. We're going to say static const. Can't do static const in C#. Just do const, right? Const int. How many sounds are we going to allow? 128 sounds. Start is, let's make that public so that we can say S. Okay, I will need a prefab. That's how this thing works. So let's make ourselves a prefab. Game object prefab new game object sound. Prefab dot add component a sound instance, and we're going to put that as our prefab. Okay, cool. And then we're going to say object pool equals get pool sound instance equals pool dot what do we do when we're going to spawn something from a pool? We say allocate, and I'll just put vector 3.0 for now. Cannot convert game object to sound instance. Oh, okay. So an object, and I'm going to say sound instance equals obj.get component sound instance, and I'm going to say instance.play sound and return the instance for some reason, which I don't think I'm ever going to need, but great. All right, so maybe that'll work. Let's see how it goes. Weapon, let's put public sound, fire sound on there. And then when you fire the weapon, and we successfully have fired the weapon, say if null is not equal to fire sound, I'm going to say sound instance dot play sound fire sound. Okay, let's see what happens. On the player's laser gun, let's add their little fire sound that we made. Laser fire goes on there. All right, let's see how we did. Okay, here's our various pools. Did I make, oh my gosh, look at that. Did I make a pool of sounds? I did, and here they all are, and the sounds play. All we need now is these sounds to automatically shut themselves down when the sound is finished. Okay, so this is going to be in sound instance, and I'm going to need a little coroutine. IEnumerator kill when done. Oh, you know what I can do? While mSource.isPlaying, let's just do yield return null. Just chill, and then when the sound is done, there you go. How about that? Okay, now when you play, start coroutine kill when done. All right, let's see if that works. We can see that the sounds are playing. They are automatically deleting themselves. And hopefully you can hear, I hope it's coming through. There's a little bit of variation on that sound each time I play. It just breaks up the monotony of it a little bit. Let's throw in one more sound. Let's throw a sound in on the laser hit. Laser still works. All right, that's working. That sounds really nice, although that impact sound sort of little hot compared to the fire sound, I think. And so I'm going to turn down the volume. I have a little tuner on here. I'm going to say from 0.4 to 0.6 volume. Now this lets me, by doing it this way, this lets me balance. I think that's working. That works for me. Okay. Great. By organizing my sounds together this way, I can very easily balance their volumes and create variations and so forth. And no, I don't need to go to Fmod or Wise or something like that. This is all the features that I'm going to need. And I think that's it. I think we're ready to go. All I got to do now is commit all of these changes and then maybe go around and spread some audio to the rest of the game. You know what I'd really like is, let's make a void play that takes a nothing, and that will do sound instance dot play sound this. I like that. This is going to be easier to use. Let's do that. So that would be sound.play. Public sound.play. Okay, mcollectSound.play. Let's do that. I like that better when you put the egg collect sound on there. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that's so much better. In fact, I'm going to go around and I'm going to tweak all of those to do that. Okay, let's go to town. That's a lot of sounds. A lot of sounds. We should be in pretty good shape for sounds at this point. Excellent. So very rich, full sound environment now. We could take some time to go and tweak and level things, but let's call this a video, and I'll take this to the editing room, see where we come out.